Fuck, fuckity, fuck, 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 bro. Apparently, YouTube has walked back their 7-second rule in which we're not allowed to curse in the first 7 seconds of a video. So I thought I'd break that in. I even try to curse less and less. Not necessarily because of YouTube, but just because I would like to expand my vocabulary. I've always told people that the cursing thing is actually a weakness for me because it's lack of vocabulary. It's like I don't know what to say, so I'm just like, yeah, fuck that shit, or something like.
Yeah.
But it's like we're breaking in the 7-second rule, so it'll be funny if this video gets demonetized when you upload it, and then you have to censor every single word I said. It'll be great.
Yeah, I mean, I won't. We'll just not get paid for this one. I'll just upload it, and it'll be the end of it. But right. the whole swearing thing is definitely the first. When I first stopped swearing, and I didn't plan on stopping, it just sort of stopped by itself.
It just kind of happened.
I definitely found myself sometimes going, "Oh, wait,
what word should I say here?"
Yeah.
Fuck would be so adequate.
Yeah, usually I'd use the F word or I'd use the C word or something, and now I don't have a word to.
I don't know what to say.
But you do come up with like different words thought to become a lot more impactful. I still sometimes say the word shit because I feel like that's like not that bad of a swear word. But I think the other thing also for you and me, and of course, welcome to all of you watching. But I think the other thing for you and me is because English is our second language.
Exactly.
Swear words don't feel
like
they
don't
cuss words, if that makes sense.
They don't.
Right?
It's just a funny word that we say. It doesn't feel like a cuss word.
Whereas if I hear someone swear in Afrikaans, or if I swear in Afrikaans, I can feel that, right? I feel the impact of that word. I'm like,
this person's mad. This person's upset.
Yeah, whereas English is just like, oh, well, is what it is.
It's just a funny little word.
But for those of you that don't know, YouTube said that we're allowed to swear now in the first 7 seconds, and Rurikon was like, I'm a rebel today. I'm going to try it.
I'm going to break that in. But welcome to another episode of the Mythic Banter. We have an extensive list of topics to go through today. I doubt we'll even get through all of them, but it's always an effort. We're always making an effort to deliver.
We'll probably include even more topics before the end of this podcast. So.
I mean, we'll probably include more topics and not go over the topics that we have,
which is standard.
Yes, the standard operating procedure for Mythic Banter.
We need a producer, like a producer that can keep us on topic. Like, just be like, no, that wasn't planned. Only talk about the stuff that's planned. Because that's what most podcasts do. They have like a producer that makes sure that they don't just go off like we do and sometimes talk about stuff that has nothing to do with anything that we plan to talk about.
Yeah, and then people go like, what is this fake nonsensory? Give me my Mythic Banter back. I don't want no goddamn producer. And then we're going to have to go like the AAA industry and be like, Bob would be the producer name. He would have to be called Bob because then he would also be everyone's uncle because Bob's your uncle. Everybody knows. So he'd go like, Bob, I'm sorry I don't know how to tell this to you, but we're giving you the opportunity to become a freelancer. You're getting promoted. That's how AAA does it, right? They just fire a bunch of people like, we're not firing you. We're giving you the opportunity to chase your dreams.
Fly,
of
little
becoming
birdie.
A free agent. It's like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, well, that seems standard, and I think also not too bad. Very quickly though, do want to point out we had someone. Let me just So Blue Moon Fuzz.
I'm scared.
Blue Moon Fuzz 2 days ago asked, "What do we want for our birthday?" What
do we want for our birthday? My birthday already happened. It was last week, Sunday.
Well, he was talking about the channels, but also happy birthday to you, belated as it is.
The channel's birthday. What do we want for our birthday?
Just you guys liking this video.
Yeah. Maximum engagement. That would be nice. Just like maximum engagement.
Yeah, if you're watching this and you want to wish the channel a happy birthday, do that by smashing the like button. That's all we ask.
Yeah. Not like your stepsister, though.
Depends on how you slap your stepsister. But if you do, you can. right? Like if that brings back fond memories for you, then absolutely engage in that, you know? Then we have to talk about the poll, as we always do, because we're very fond of Polish people on this channel. So 4 days ago, in the poll, I asked, do you like cash shops? We've asked this question actually.
I love cash shops
in various different ways over the course of this channel's history, the 1 year history that we've had on this channel so far. But it's always been related specifically to a game, right? So I'll ask, what do you think of this cash shop in this game or whatever? This was the first time where I asked it super open-ended. We had 290 votes. Yeah?
I'm guessing this is following up on the topic that we talked about, Yves Mo saying players love our cash shop. They fucking love it, dude. You're all wrong. You don't understand. They love engaging with our content.
Well, yes, right? We have 2% of people that said yes to that question. I'm hoping that that's just trolling.
They're just going, so listen, okay. There's two things that can happen when people answer yes to that question. Mm-hmm. Number one, they're trolling, which is likely the outcome. Number two, they were dropped in their heads as children. Those are the two options, really.
I like that. If you were trolling, if you were one of the people who actually voted in this and you said yes, just write troll in the comment section.
Yes.
It'll confuse people who have not watched the podcast yet, but we will know. Like you and I will know what just happened here. Then
we'll know.
As you would expect, 76% of people said no. They don't like cash shops, which makes sense, right?
Yes.
If they're just to make this super clear to people who might not understand, if games removed the cash shop, then all of the stuff that's in the cash shop would just be in the game. That's legitimately how it works.
You would just get it organically.
Yeah, they would just give it to you because they would want you to buy the game and then get as much goodies as you can potentially get for the game. Then 19% of you said in some games, yes. Now, that's the group that I sort of want to talk about just for a couple of minutes. I don't understand why. If you're one of the people that voted in some games, yes, could you please tell us what exactly is it about cash shops in some games that makes you go, I don't mind it in this game?
I've seen it in my comment section from time to time, and every time it brings a tear to my eye because, like, oh man, I feel so bad for you. It's usually the people that go, I love the quality of life. Mm-hmm. It's not paid to win. It's paid to progress a little bit faster. Mm-hmm. I don't have time to play video games, so I appreciate the fact that they're charging me for the privilege of actually playing it faster.
Yeah.
And sometimes I wonder if those people realize, that if they didn't have the cash shop, the game would just be better for everyone, as opposed to only the people that can afford to pay. Unless you like being a part of this classist system wherein the people who have more money get more benefits in a video game, just like real life, I've always looked at video games as one of the great equalizers, but I guess not everybody sees it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind, right? If you're rich, by all means, in my opinion, the perks you get when you're rich is you get to buy more games. Like, that's a great perk to have, right? And I wouldn't want to take that perk away from anyone. If you're working hard, you should be able to buy all the games you want. But when we step into the world of that game, you're not rich. You're just the same as me, right? When I'm currently replaying Baldur's Gate 3, when I play my TAV and you play your TAV, my TAV is only as powerful as I make it. I cannot spend outside money in order to make my TAV more powerful, because that would break the fourth wall. And that's my problem specifically. Now, where I think a lot of people do land on cash shops and why some people might actually vote in some games, it's fine. I would say things like League of Legends, so super free-to-play games, or MMOs like Guild Wars 2 or even Elder Scrolls Online, where it is a free-to-play or at least buy-to-play. And so the cash shop allows them to offer the game freely to everyone that plays, right? And there, you probably don't mind the cash shop as much. But even someone here, Sky's Tamer, said in the comment section, they don't mind it in games like Guild Wars 2, but what they do hate is the sort of convenience features and the creep of convenience
So
features.
you would rather and
add.
as somebody that has played quite a bit of Guild Wars 2, that inventory is a fucking nightmare, bro. It is absolute, like, bro. It almost screams, buy more bags. Yeah. You just need to go to the shop and buy some bags. It would be so much better for you if you just bought some bags. And it's like, God damn, I hate that. Like, sell cosmetics on there, whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's a free-to-play game. Sell cosmetics on there, fine. But, like, the inventory stuff is like, ugh, shit.
The problem that I have usually with that is, and this is what I think so many people miss, right, is when you add something, a service like this to the cash shop, it creates a counter incentive. Because someone wants that cash shop to flourish and make money. The someone that wants that cash shop to flourish and make money isn't a gamer. They don't care about video games. They themselves don't play video games. And so they will continuously put pressure on the developers to make certain features pop a little bit more. And so developers will continuously invent new pieces of loot, new types of stuff that they can put inside your bags with the express idea of filling up those bags so that you're constantly forced to buy better bags or new bags or more bags. This is how it works. It's the same thing that happens when you're selling XP potions on a cash shop. You would think that all that would mean is that some people get to XP faster, right? They level a little bit faster. But that's never how it works. Instead, what they do is they lower the experience for everyone by 10% and then grant 10% on top of that, right? Because it becomes a punishment. And if you want to get out of the punishment, you have to buy the solution to the punishment.
They create the problem and sell you the solution.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of that at all. And again, in this, the problem with being accepting of a lot of these quality of life things is that they then spread to other games they have no business in being in, and like bringing us back around full circle, considering that this topic was brought about because of Izugimo saying people love our cash shop. They then end up in single player games like Assassin's Creed, wherein the game was absolutely, the last one that I played, which was Odyssey, was absolutely balanced like a piece of dog shit, intended for you to go and get the XP boosters and the coin double. It literally has a coin doubler where you just make twice the amount of. It's a permanent thing, by the way. Like, you can just straight up buy I don't know if it was 5 or 10% additionally XP forever. And you just gain double the currency, and then you can also just buy the materials for upgrading your ship, and you can buy better armor,
super powerful,
and better,
by the way,
and better armor and better weapons and all. And it's like, no, bro, no, fuck off with that shit. That's garbage. That's absolute garbage.
No. And I need to point this out because the last time you and I spoke about Odyssey, there were people in the comment section going, "What are you talking about? This is absolutely untrue." There was so
Here's
much
what I have to say. Listen.
After,
Here's what I have to say to those people. Fuck you.
And so I will say to those people that say it's not true, when did you play the game? Because if you played it on launch, that was the experience.
Yes,
thanks to the incredible fallout from people like myself, Wuchang, and other gamers that were so pissed off. They were forced to do patches and changes in order to make the game less grindy and less obnoxiously sort of greedy. But
let me add something to my reply.
Yeah?
Yeah, let me just add something to my reply. Fuck you, and you're welcome.
On point. Wuchang's chosen violence today. Like, having him swear in the first 7 seconds just makes him angry.
No. Listen, like nobody can come at me trying to defend anything that Ubisoft does. Okay, it's not. I'm not gonna let it fly. Not even once. Not even for a second. Not even for a nanosecond. Okay,
Rurikon
nothing
does
gets
hate.
by me when it comes to Ubisoft.
Yeah.
All right.
Rurikon
I say
does
that because
hate
I used to
Ubisoft.
like. I used to like Ubisoft games. That's what pisses me off so much. So,
dude, I used to like a lot of the game companies that are absolute dog food
both
now.
of us used to love Blizzard. We would swear by Blizzard. We're like, Blizzard would never do me dirty. What do you mean?
Dude,
they would never. No, Blizzard, they would never.
There was a time where it was EA that was just complete scumbag, right? But that's been for a long time. And then Ubisoft was sort of teetering on becoming scumbag. They were still sort of hit and miss on their scumbaggery.
Yeah.
Whereas Blizzard stood out head and shoulders above the rest. People don't even know this, but it's just literally 2016. 2016, Blizzard was still considered a really good studio.
Yeah.
That made good, solid video games, really put the player first. And then things just went downhill fast.
You know, it's the funny thing that I just realized. Yeah. You're saying 2016 like that wasn't that long ago. 2016 was 9 years. It was almost a decade ago, dude. Absolutely. You can't say it like that anymore.
But it feels like just yesterday.
It does. And you're just like, man, just in 2016, like just last year. It's like, no, bro, it was a decade ago, bro.
But it feels like it was literally just yesteryear, right? Like just
dude.
I still remember things from 2016 as if they happened just yesterday.
Yeah, so, I know. You know, it was fucking crazy.
Absolutely crazy. But okay. Now, let's get into, this isn't game related, but it's sort of related to Rurikon being allowed to swear in the first 7 seconds of this video. YouTube, seemingly coming out very strongly now with a requirement for ID verification, at least in the US. If you want to be on YouTube, you'll have to use your identification.
I think also in the UK. I think also.
Well, the UK is for porn. Is for Spotify. Well, America, some states are also for porn, but the UK put the one on Spotify, where in order to listen to Spotify,
and every porn website as well. You need like an ID to go on porn websites. Which, funnily enough, the way that this relates to gaming is people have been using Gary's mod to bypass this. So like they'll put the face of like old man in Gary's mod, and they just like turn their phone, just like dude. And some people have been using Death Stranding 2 Norman Reedus face to bypass the age verification.
Dude,
as well. They've been using that.
Okay. I mean,
and you know what? Good on you, dude. Rebel against the state. They don't get to tell you what you get to watch on the internet. What the fuck is this? The thought police now? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, listen, I was watching porn when I was when I was very, very young, when I shouldn't have been watching porn. And guess what? I turned out, well, actually, maybe it is a good idea.
Here's the thing, okay? This is sort of, it's that double-edged sword, right? So on the one hand, no one wants the government to have too much power because it's the government and they're corrupt as hell. On the other hand, if there's one thing the government could do, and that most people wouldn't mind, even staunch libertarians, even anarchists, Michael Malice, for example, who is probably one of the most famous anarchists out there, even he has admitted the one thing he does not have an answer to, like the one thing he has not figured out in an anarchic system is what do you do with children? How do you protect kids from very bad parents, from very bad people, right? Because this is one of the things that most even libertarians agree the state must do. If kids are being abused by their parents, if kids are they need to be protected. So this sort of runs both of those, my hatred for the government, but then also my acceptance that kids need to be kept safe. So when it comes to age,
here's where I'm at with this kind of stuff. How about the parents fucking parent?
I fully agree with you, right? But this is sort of the same argument that we would make for abuse. How about the parents just don't abuse their children?
That is the rough part. Yeah.
Yeah, some parents do, right? And there you need the government to come in and say, listen here, you cannot put your kid in a sackcloth and throw fireworks at them. What the hell are you doing? Right?
That sounds very specific.
Some guy told a joke where he was sort of telling
that's a joke?
Yeah. This joke comes with what he says afterwards, but that's neither here nor there. But the government has to step in, right? And so because some parents don't look after what their kids are doing online, and specifically when it comes to things like YouTube, parents sort of just trust that, it's YouTube, what's the worst that can happen? Because people don't think of YouTube as like a porn place, right? Or like a place where kids can be introduced to it's worse. Wild stuff.
It's worse. I have to constantly take the iPad away from my kid now because he's just constantly watching these videos, and I can tell the fucking editing that is being done is just absolutely shredding his attention span. It's like those edits where it's like somebody's moving from here to here, but they need to like fucking cut it because it takes too long and people might look away for a second. It's like, bro, if you need to cut it that badly, I don't know what to tell you, man. You've already done so much damage that maybe think about not editing videos that way. I mean, it's also my job to make sure the kid doesn't watch it. So basically, I keep taking his iPad away. It is what it is. I mean, but yeah, it's
you have worse things, right, on YouTube. Not that long ago, people discovered this male creator that basically had a blanket up, and him and his boyfriend would do all manner of stuff, and this was for kids. Kids could watch.
I mean, I remember Elsagate.
Sorry?
Elsagate. That was also something. You don't know about Elsagate?
No, I don't.
Elsagate is like where you would have these content creators that would make videos with Disney characters, and they would be doing all kinds of really weird, fucked up shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like Spider-Man impregnating Elsa and shit like that.
Oh, yeah,
I
remember
just
that.
Like the weirdest. It was the weirdest fucking shit, and kids apparently would just like go straight into that because it's Disney characters. So yeah,
yeah. I think this is one leg for YouTube, but then I think there's a bigger version of this because something that's been sort of coming out with a lot of this, and Google really is constantly fighting this war against children being exploited on YouTube. But one of the things that started to come out is kids will go on to their parents' accounts and start watching these videos that's meant for them. But then in the comments, the predators would converse with these kids. And I think this age verification thing, the fact that you now have to verify your age, is a way for them to go, if an account is flagged as watching kiddie stuff, or if a video is meant for children, older people cannot comment on that video, right? Or that video, they cannot engage with kids in those comment sections. It just gives YouTube the ability to control a little bit more what kids can and cannot see. I get the opposite argument here. I get that, wait, why the hell should we give the government access to these kinds of things? To that, I will just say this doesn't appear to be a government thing. It's not the government that told YouTube to do this. It's YouTube that said, we're going to be doing this now. And to people who say, no, I don't want them to have my details. If you're watching this video on YouTube, they already have all of those details. Yeah. You don't have to worry about it, right? If you've ever had a Facebook page or anything like that, they already have everything.
Your data's out there. Your data's out there.
They have it.
That's what it is.
In fact, they know more things than you even do. If you lose something, you probably phone them and they'll tell you, you left it there.
You can probably like call up YouTube and be like, hey, listen, I've been experiencing this pain on my left side of my abdomen. They're like, yeah, we know what that is. You need to get that checked.
Yeah.
Like, we have the diagnosis right here. We've had our doctors on site. Yeah, we know what's wrong with you. Go to the doctor, tell them this is the name of the disease, and just ask them to prescribe you with this medication and this dosage. We know exactly how to fix it, okay? Just go to your doctor. He'll prescribe you. Give him this script and you'll be fine. Like, they have your whole shit.
But you're joking.
There, dude. Straight up.
You're joking, but I think
I'm not.
This.
What do you mean I'm joking? It's true.
Amazon's algorithm turned out to be that bloody accurate. Like,
yeah, I know.
Literally, they found that girls were going on Amazon and they were getting ads for like diapers and breast milk and stuff like that, like vitamins, pregnancy vitamins. And then this girl, seeing all of these ads, wanted to know what the hell was going on. And then she found out she was pregnant. She didn't even know.
She was pregnant, yeah.
But based on the searches that she has done, the algorithm figured out, oh, she's pregnant.
Yeah, like I'm making memes out of it, but I know for a fact it's that accurate. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've
probably knows.
Like, listen, there was one time where I forget what the exact specific was, but this was like super blatant. It was an item that I had never searched before, that I had never mentioned, even in passing at all, with algorithm, nothing. And then at one point, I spoke with a friend of mine about some item. I forget what the item was. And my phone was next to me, right? And then I go and I opened up like an Amazon tab, and there it was. The specific item that I was talking with my friend about. I was like, this was something that had nothing to do with anything that I've done before. It had nothing to do with anything at all. And it just showed up right there. And I was like, wow, that's fucking impressive.
Yeah. On the one hand, you sort of go, wow, where's my
That's
privacy?
so convenient.
Right. But on the other hand, you also go, well, sometimes it works. Sometimes this is nice. But, at the end of the day, that's what YouTube will require now. We know that Australia is working on a full ban for minors on YouTube. I think a lot of countries might actually be following suit on this. And for those of you that might be saying, how dare they? I will just point out that almost all of the research we have now, and you can go over to a man named Jonathan Haidt, who is a professor, and he's done a lot of research into the harm of social media on young people. They've been advocating for this, right? And not because they're super censorious or they want the government involved in everyone's lives, but because of the incredible harm that social media visits upon young people.
Absolutely.
Our young girls are committing suicide at twice the rate than what they did just 20 years ago. Young boys are up over double, right? It's approaching triple to quadruple figures for young boys. We have a pandemic of young people that are just absolutely unhappy. And a lot of that is because we have a system that absolutely exploits the young in exchange for boomers being able to live like kings. And they refuse to let go of their incredible wealth. But then also a lot of that has to do with social media. So this is just one of those ways in which they're trying to solve that.
I just need people to understand that, like, for me, it would be so easy to make a ridiculous amounts of money on TikTok. It'd be like the easiest thing. It'd be so easy, but I just refuse to engage with that platform because that platform absolutely damages, like, straight up damages young kids and young teenagers' fucking psyches. It absolutely destroys them. Yeah. But, it is what it is.
No, I personally don't really do a lot of TikTok. I've done videos here and there on it just to taste the waters to see how it works, because I have a feeling that YouTube is taking a lot of cues from TikTok's algorithm.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And I've confirmed that to some extent. I now almost know for a fact that YouTube just copied TikTok's algorithm.
For shorts, yeah.
I think I told you about it. Guys, this poll section is turning into a much longer section than we had planned originally. But ultimately, what I found was, so on TikTok, for those of you that don't know, if you upload a video to TikTok, it will first send out the video to everyone in your immediate vicinity. So if you're in America, all Americans first get the video, and then it'll go out to the rest of the world. So if it tracks there, it'll go. How I know this is every single time I open TikTok, I get absolutely flooded with South African content creators. Even though, at that time, I've never watched a single video from a South African content creator. The content that I was consuming at the time was World of Warcraft related, right? But that's not what I get on my home feed. It's every single time it's a bunch of South Africans. And then, with YouTube specifically, I've been making YouTube videos for about 9 years now, right? 8-9 years. Started with World of Warcraft, and it went well. I almost had 50,000 subscribers before I left that channel. Then I did gaming news, and the gaming news did well, right? Also, really decent growth, really decent views. Nothing too bad. And then I got sort of dragged into, luckily, into South African news, right? Started covering some stuff that happened in South Africa that really pissed me off, and I felt no one was really talking about it. And it just exploded. Like overnight, videos just 20,000, 30,000 views. I'm currently sitting on 5,000 subscribers in the last 28 days. And for a channel this size, I don't even have 30,000 subscribers yet. And I'm at 5,000 subscribers in the last 28 days. It's insane, right? And that's just a shift to South African content. Every single time I put out a video, it's like within the first hour, it's like 20 or 30 new subscribers telling me that this video goes out to South Africans first. So YouTube may have taken a page from that. If you're watching this from another country, let us know which country you're from. Because it's wild. But yeah, I think fundamentally the research is in. Kids are suffering. And we need to protect them. So I kind of welcome this from YouTube's side. I'm not sure how this protects kids really. Because
they just use their parents' account. It's that simple. Like there are ways around it. So
don't most kids already do that? You know, most kids already use their parents' accounts.
But this way, YouTube can like shift the responsibility, and they're like, "Hey, that's not our fucking problem. Like, look, we came up with this system. We are filtering it out. Yeah. Now it's on the parents. It is what it is. But ultimately, the problem still happens. So it's just kind of like saving face is the way that I look at it. But
probably correct, actually. Probably correct. Onto drama that I have not been following this week. But I'm now sad because you told me this is really good.
I mean,
what is
it's
happening?
really good in a really bad way because, like I said, I don't like piling on to pirate software. I know that a lot of people are having the time of their lives piling on to this guy.
Let's do it anyway.
But it's not about let's do it anyway. It's just I find that this latest information that came out is just so blatantly bad. That, you know, it's because like I avoided, like I could have made 50 million videos on this guy by now. Everybody's doing it and it's like super easy way to get tons of views. Yeah. But it's like, I'm just not interested, right? So what happened now was he leaked his DMs by mistake. Somebody did like some text-to-speech thing on Discord or whatever because he has this Discord text-to-speech connected directly with his Twitch stream. And so somebody put out like some really weird, funky message that he was like, "Oh, what the hell is this?" And he opens up Discord. But the first window that is up there is actually not the window that he wants to go to. The first window that is up there is his DMs with one of his mods. Okay. His mod Kronos, which if you followed Pirate Software, you've heard this guy's name a bunch of times already. I always hear him talk, "Oh, Kronos this, Kronos that." He almost seems like his main mod, if that's the case. I don't follow Pirate Software as closely, so I don't know if that's the case or not, but yeah, it's his mod.
And I don't even watch him that often, and I know the name. I've heard him
within this mod's DMs, there's like a conversation happening about bits to extend a hype train. So he's coordinating with his mod on how to extend hype trains on Twitch. This isn't the worst part. Wait, this isn't the worst part. Okay. So, and since this has happened, he's come out and he said, everybody does it. And I'm just like, oh, that's great. You know, that's just fantastic because like, you know, if I go out and I shoot somebody in the face, I can just go and say, everybody's doing it. You know, like, look at war zones. Everybody's getting shot in the face. Yeah. Like, well, what have I done that's so wrong, right? But anyways, he's saying that, like, all the big streamers do this. So the idea is when you start a hype train, when the hype train's about to end, you gift a bunch of gifts or gifted subs or whatever. And they were arguing back and forth about what's the most efficient way of doing it. And apparently it's bits. Yeah. And so he's like, okay, so hit this bits up when it's about this percentage of the hype train disappearing so that it extends it. Now, for people that don't know how hype trains work, and this is something that is verified, okay? And it doesn't even need to be a hype train. It can just be a string of donations is enough to do this. Because like I've had this happen on YouTube, and usually I just don't know how to handle it. Because like people start donating a bunch of money. I'm like, guys, stop. Most of my money comes from ad revenue. Like, chill. So it's always like an awkward situation for me because I usually don't even get that many. So it's like whenever you get like a string of donations, it gets a little bit weird. But anyway,
it gets overwhelming.
Whenever you get a string of donations, the people that are in chat, they become more. There's a higher probability of them donating.
Yeah, because they want to be part of the game. Right, they want to be part.
They want to be part of what's happening, and they're just like, oh, let me throw in some money as well. Like we've had something like this in the Game of the Years last year, where everybody was saying that they were depositing, they were investing in the Bank of Wuchang, and it was just like the weirdest thing. $10, $20. I was like, holy shit, I don't know what to do. Yeah. But so this is a known phenomena, but Twitch has an actual mechanic to it, which is a hype train. Whenever people start donating a bunch of gifts or gifted subs or bits or stuff like that, there's a thing that goes, the hype train, and here comes the hype train. Everybody gets more excited, right? So extending a hype train increases the likelihood of them getting more donations. And apparently, Pirate Software has been breaking records on hype trains.
Yeah, he's literally been, this is one of the ways in which he grew. So Pirate Software
was breaking hype train records.
Yeah, he was the first guy to really abuse shorts, I would say. Like the way shorts are supposed to be used, he used it to maximum effect, right? I don't mean abuse as in wrongly,
I saw a bunch of his content on YouTube. That was the way that I first seen his stuff, was shorts on YouTube.
Yeah, he just flooded the market with his shorts, right? And he had this whole 1 year plan. So he had 2 editors whose whole job it was to just find shorts and flood YouTube with it. And then as soon as he started to gain traction, I remember this was sort of last year, maybe the year before last year even, he suddenly started posting these videos of world record hype trains. We're talking about on the highest level. So for those of you that don't know, in the back end of Twitch, you have these, I think level 1 to level 5 of hype trains. Level 1 is the easiest, like 100 bits will trigger the hype train, and like 100 bits will get you next level. And then on level 5, that's the hardest one to break. It takes a couple of $100 to trigger that one, but it's usually meant for like big streamers, so they don't constantly trigger hype trains. On level 5, he broke it to something like, I think, level 85 hype train.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So anyway, these messages get exposed of him talking with Kronos about extending his hype train, which you can argue, that's not really cool to do that because it's just going to pressure more people into donating more money, and it's manipulation, right? But he then goes on to say, yeah, everybody does it. It's like, sure, fine, whatever. That doesn't make it okay. I'm sure that a lot of big streamers do that bullshit as well. They talk with their mods or other people to go in and extend the fucking thing, which whether or not that breaks terms of service, apparently it doesn't, which is weird. The fact that apparently that doesn't break terms of service, but that's not the only thing that came out.
I just want to say, can I just before you because I need to point this out, people are so easily manipulated, right? By streamers and the way big streamers operate. Because this is sort of, it's the same thing that happened when we're talking about ethical behavior. It's the same thing that happened when Pokimane a few years ago said that she was going to cap all of her donations to $5. She's not going to allow anyone to donate more than $5. And people are like, oh, wow, Pokimane really looking out for the little guy. And it's like, no, you don't seem to understand what Pokimane just did. Pokimane effectively made it so that people who want to donate $100 now have to donate multiple $5. This makes everyone in chat think, oh, wow, there's a lot of people donating money. I want to donate money too. And so it just increases revenue. This is how it works. This is why, as shocking as this is, and this is why I brought up the story, I'm not surprised. And I'm also not, I would not be surprised to learn that most very large streamers do this, because these guys are constantly thinking of new ways to screw over their audience, to get as much money as they can, because for them, this is an extraction economy. Try to extract everything, because Twitch, sadly, unlike YouTube, Twitch is a winner-takes-all platform. It's a zero-sum game. One wins, the other loses. Everyone cannot win on Twitch. Just how it is. But okay, continue. What else did he do?
So then comes up this conversation about, what about the alt account? And the guy reveals the name of this alt account, and then people go digging. And so not only he extends the hype train with his own account, but then he also has an alt account in which he extends the hype train again to make it seem like it's coming from somebody completely random. And he painted this other account as being a friend of Kronos, who then just like spoke very highly of Pirate Software and his donation, like basically glazed the fuck out of him in the donation. And yeah, basically extended the hype train with an alt account. And that is against the terms of service.
Of course.
So yeah, that's the story. Judge it however you like.
Has he been bad?
No, of course not.
Of course.
At least not as far as I'm aware. But yeah, it's just, to me, the thing is, I just think it's fucked up. It's fucked up. Like you're one of the top streamers in the platform. Yes, you've hit some rough times with drama, but like, why do people feel this need to just like, no, but I have to become bigger and bigger and bigger? Like I've said this multiple times. The only reason why I want to grow slightly on YouTube is just to maintain the level of growth that you kind of need to in order to survive. Like that's it. But like when you're at that level, you're not surviving, bro. You're fucking thriving.
No, he's a millionaire.
It's like, what the fuck?
He is a millionaire.
So it's like, because my objective when I started YouTube is like, I just want to get to 100K. 100K should be about enough for me to be able to live comfortably. That's all I want. I don't want to be rich. I don't want to buy Ferraris. I don't want to like big fucking mansion. It's like, I just want enough to get by. That's cool. That's fine. That's it.
Yeah.
But it's like these people that like, you know, for whatever reason, they get to these numbers on Twitch that just gets to their head. And it's like, no, we have to fucking min-max the system. We got to like fucking extend the hype train and then get the alt account to extend it further and make it seem like it's from somebody else to manipulate. And it's like, bro, what the fuck? Like, stop. Jesus Christ.
I'm the same, right? For me, it literally is just a case of I want to make content. I want to enjoy myself, but I don't want to be rich. I find that what you need to do in order to be that rich, because I'll give you another thing that I'm almost convinced by. So you know how, or maybe you wouldn't know this because not everyone does, but a lot of time comedians, right, stand-up comedians will have plants in the audience that will feed them quips, right? So when they're sort of dealing with hecklers, they'll have specific people planted in the audience that will heckle specific things for which they have comebacks, right? So they have a prepared set of comebacks. Magicians do this too, where they'll have people planted in the audience to, I need a random person from the audience, and then the random person comes up, but the random person is not random whatsoever. I have a similar feeling about a lot of this stuff that Pirate Software sort of, especially in the beginning, a lot of the stuff that he got into. I don't know if you remember, but he had these shorts that just blew up about all sorts of wild questions that he would get. Like people would ask him these security questions about World of Warcraft, or they'll ask him about this, that, or the other. And I always thought to myself, that's such an interesting thing. Like, why would someone ask something that specific, right? And then he would just have the information prepared. Now, that could be because he just knows that much. Or it could be, and now I'm sort of thinking it probably was that he had that prepared.
This is the problem with lying about things. You lie once, and it becomes very hard for people to ever trust you again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Instead, just be a moron that talks crap on the internet. That's much easier, and you don't have to keep track of all your lies, right? You could just say shit, and then, you know...
Just have bad opinions like us there.
Yeah! Well, we may have bad opinions, but at least we don't have to keep track of all the lies.
Yeah,
right? Just
exactly.
to try and, oh, shit, When did we say this? Did we say this? Oh.
Uh-oh.
Well, we have to go watch 10 of the last episodes just to make sure. What was our opinions, Thane? That was the right opinions to have so that we get views.
Let's get the right opinion.
Yeah, that's sort of, oh man, it's just, it's wild. But what else is wild? And actually, I would say a little scary. Actually, there's a few stories today that's a little scary, but this one, I think, should make a lot of people very, very afraid of the power that companies like Visa and MasterCard has. Because even in the face of so much bad publicity for Visa and MasterCard, they seem to not give a crap.
Yeah, they still haven't backtracked, but basically people have organized. If you guys haven't been following this, people have organized and they are now mass calling the support services of Visa and MasterCard and asking them about the Steam situation. But they have like strategies and they have scripts that they've shared about like, oh, you need to escalate this to somebody at this high. You need to be on the phone for more than 10 minutes, be polite. So it's like there's all of these strategies that people are coming up with to basically just like slam Visa and MasterCard. And they're breaking apart at the seams. So like apparently over the last couple of days, their customer support service is damn near unusable. And so people will call and there will even be situations where people will go like, okay, so I'm going to call. And they're like, can we call you back? And they're like, yeah, call me back. And then they immediately call again. So it's like they're filling up the callback queues and the queues for calling at the time and trying to get the people just escalating. It's insane. And to that, I say, fuck them. Okay?
Well
good old
played,
Visa and
boys.
MasterCard is getting they're getting like the whole tutorial on it. Fuck around and find out, right?
Yep.
You came out and you started taking games away from people and people aren't happy about it. That's what you did. So maybe just be a good little payment processor pigs that you are, absolute fucking pigs stealing from people already, okay? Yeah. Maybe just do that. Focus on stealing from people as efficiently as you can and save us your fucking morals. We don't give a fuck, okay? Yeah. We don't care what your morals are, Visa and MasterCard, you fucking degenerate bastards. I don't give a fuck.
If your entire job, right, is to run what can only these days be described as credit card scams, right, that get people so indebted that their kids are born in debt, right?
Bro,
like, that's how bad it is.
I guarantee you that like the higher ups over at Visa and MasterCard are jerking their meat to fucking scat porn and they're coming out here like, oh, the morals of these video games. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the actual fuck out of here.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get to preach to people about morals. And to be fair, it's not Visa and MasterCard alone, right? This is also Collective Shout.
Yeah.
That is also part of this and also part of the story. Because Collective Shout is this organization of what we can only describe as a bunch of moms with nothing better to do that is now trying to interfere with everything.
The Aussies need to get their Karens in check, bro. Like, come on,
these
man.
Karens
like,
are
skill up. They're coming from your country, man. What the fuck is going on?
I just want to say, if the Karens are staying local, we can all laugh at the videos on about McDonald's and the meltdowns online.
Yeah.
But Australia, your Karens are going global. This is not okay. Right?
This is a problem. You guys need to rein them back in.
Get that shit out of control.
Figure it out. But yeah, so Collective Shout, who is claiming authorship of all of these things that have been happening through Steam and itch.io, they're also going through it a little bit. They've now gone protected on X, and you can no longer. I was actually trying to search for their official account. It doesn't even come up on search anymore. It's just like you have to physically type in the URL to even go there, and then it just says these tweets are now protected.
Of course.
And also, apparently, their Instagram account was suspended. So
Oh, wow.
Instagram suspended their account. I'm assuming this is probably people just mass reporting the account or something like that. And it's like, you take people's entertainment away. And the thing that is important here is, right, it's not just about, despite what people like to say, it's not just about the grape and the brotherly love videos and all of this stuff. It's not just about that. Not to mention that it's like, you can't tell stories with those things, apparently, because that's
the part that gets me, right? So if the only thing that they were going after was like obvious porn games, I would say, yeah, all right, who gives a shit, right? I don't want those games on there either. But
like I said,
you include,
even if that's the case, I still don't agree with it because it's none of their fucking business. Hold up.
I'm not saying that I agree with them, but I'm saying I would be like, okay, whatever, right? The problem is that they're also going after games that simply talk about it. So that would mean Cyberpunk is out, right? Can't have Cyberpunk.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of sexual themes in that. Baldur's Gate is out.
They've already tried to get rid of Detroit Becomes Human in the past.
Yeah. So you're ultimately going to lose access to pretty much every single modern AAA.
Not to mention that Collective Shout specifically talks about the objectification of women. What do you think is going to happen in Witcher 3? How many times do you just get Geralt and go to a brothel and just have sex? Yeah. It's like, well, what do you call that? Absolutely objectification of women, right? So Witcher 3's got to go too. Witcher 1 definitely's got to go.
Yeah, Witcher 1 would be a serious issue.
Witcher 1, like, bro... Has got like I don't know how many people have ever played Witcher 1, but like
that game
ain't surviving. Okay, like the Karens over at Collective Shout. If the thing is, they don't even know because a lot of these people they just go through whatever is popular, popular because whatever gets them the most visibility, so that they can toot their horn and be like, yeah, it was us. Donate to us because they just want more fucking donations. It is what it is, right? It's a fucking and in Portugal we call it's a pot, which just means like you're constantly taking money out of the pot. Right? That's they're just looking for their pot. I guess in English it would be the bag. It's a bag for them. Yeah, basically. It's the bag. That's literally what it is. Well, they're getting the bag.
It's what I would consider, and it's so interesting, right? At the risk of making this a Bible podcast, which I promise I won't do, but Paul, in one of his letters to the church, warns against this. He calls them moral busybodies. Right? And he says, do not be. He speaks specifically to the women. And he says, do not allow the women to become moral busybodies, running around accusing everyone of all sorts of things. Instead, let them be quiet, subject themselves to their men, so on and so forth, right? And what Paul is effectively saying there is, be careful of certain individuals. Not just women, but women tend to do this, I think, more often than men because men don't even necessarily realize when something's happening around them. But what happens is these women, because they're bored and they don't know what else to do in Australia. I don't know why Australia doesn't have more hiking trails or something. Like, just go walk a little. Like, I don't understand why you have to. But because they're bored and they don't know what to do, they've now sort of looked for issues. They've just invented a bunch of new issues. And the problem with that is the issues never stop being invented, right? They just, there'll always be something new to worry about, always be something new to complain about. Even as a Christian who doesn't want to see gooning stuff and porn games in gaming, because I don't think it's necessary, my problem has always been, who are the people who decide what gets censored? If you could tell me that it's a bunch of angels, I'd be like, okay, cool, no worries. But since there's no angels here doing this, right, it's going to be humans. And I can't trust these humans to actually be objective and not eventually misuse that power and abuse that power to do stuff that I don't want them to do. Like, for example, wanting to ban Detroit Become Human because of what? Like, just invented perceived slights. And it's insane.
And the Detroit Become Human is also funny because I remember I did a video covering this topic because there were people in media talking about the, that specific situation of domestic violence. There's portrayal of domestic violence in Detroit Become Human, it is important to tell those stories.
Yeah,
because it is important.
Detroit Become Human deals with it incredibly well. Very respectful.
Yes, it does. But I do think that it is important to tell some of these stories so that people understand that, no, this does happen. Like this because for a lot of people, they live like such blissful lives that they just live in blissful ignorance. They have no idea that domestic abuse is happening to them. The whole thing is even inconceivable. And then when you actually watch it in a piece of media, which by the way is it's like the safest thing that you can do because there's no actual domestic violence happening. No. It's better than watching it in the fucking news. And then you actually understand, oh, wow, this is actually really, really fucked up. And this is how something like this might happen. So I think it is important to talk about these stories and not transform them into taboos so that people can understand that this is wrong and this is fucked up and you should never do this. Right. I just feel like watching that type of material sometimes might even trigger like a visceral response where you're just like, holy fucking shit, dude, this is so fucked up. And you might start to recognize warning signs on somebody that is going through that. So it's it is important to tell the stories, but you know, it is what it is.
The thing is, it's important for us to connect to the source material, right?
Yes.
Because it's real. We know it happens. We instinctively understand that this stuff happens. And when you see it, everyone knows, right, that there's a couple of things that just immediately has a visceral reaction for most humans. That's people hurting children, right? That's an immediate, like, I'm in fight mode. And then the other one is domestic abuse, right? Seeing men abuse women specifically can get people really angry very, very quickly, right?
And as a
story, as a vehicle, that's one of the greatest ways to get the hero arc going, right? Because as soon as you have that, and I'm the one that has to avenge this, you've got the hero's journey, let's go, right? You have to make use of this stuff in stories, otherwise you're going to be very limited. But that's the problem with the modern era. We live in an era now where people want to sort of whitewash almost all bad things. Right, like things should never be. You should never show.
Keep it away from me.
Yeah,
we can't show it. No, keep it away. Just make people ignorant to it, which is a much better solution. Yeah,
pretend it doesn't happen, and then it will not happen.
It'll go away. Yeah. It's not like that. But anyway, so naturally, this wasn't going to stop.
No.
At the Gooning games and all of that, of course not. So, indie horror game Vile Exhumed is now been banned from Steam by Valve. This is something that was released by someone called Kara Cadaver of Final Girl Games, and it had players rummage through a fictional 90s computer terminal to uncover a twisted man's toxic obsession with adult horror film actress. Using this format to engage with themes of online misogyny and toxic parasocial relationships. This is a Kotaku article that I'm reading from. But basically, if you have ever played this game, you would know that it's all implied, which means there's no actual explicit material in the video game. It's just storytelling, and you're going through this computer terminal, and there's even a bunch of like censored imagery and all of that stuff, so that you're kind of like exploring this whole fictional scenario. But that game has just now got taken out too. So thanks for that, Collective Shout. Since you've claimed responsibility, thank you. We appreciate that. And also, fuck Collective Shout, as well as Visa and MasterCard and everybody responsible for the purge of video games. It is that simple.
Yeah. No,
and by the way, I'll remind you, I'm speaking as somebody that I don't even necessarily want porn games on Steam.
No.
But I don't think that these are the people that should be allowed to dictate what is or isn't in the goddamn platform.
No, for me, it basically boils down to this. It's the same thing with free speech, right? I might not agree with everything that someone is saying, but I will defend their right to say it. It's the same with games.
Yeah.
I might not agree with the games you're playing, but I'll defend your right to play them. As long as I don't break the law, right? Like, if you're going to stop playing like weird games, then sure, we have a problem. But
it's funny because Visa and MasterCard are still saying, well, it's just because it's illegal activity on Steam. And it's like, so wait, people are only doing illicit money laundering through those games specifically. They're only using gooning games. That's it. They don't use any of the other millions of like indie games or other bullshit to do money laundering. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the actual fuck out of here. It's like, yeah, we've solved the problem. These games were the problem, and it's like, What the fuck do you mean? They were just laundering their money with goon games? That's it? Yeah, you can only launder if there's goon, because otherwise there's nothing there to launder. Bro, these people are fucking insane. It's crazy.
I mean, to be fair, I would not fully be surprised. I just need to... I hate running defense for these multinational corporations, but here we are. One of the greatest ways to run illegal money laundering is modern art, right? Because art is subjective. The value of art is subjective. So what happens is someone paints a completely mediocre painting. Someone else wants to launder some money. And so they buy the painting for, say, $10, sell that painting for millions of dollars, the money that's being laundered, and now they're millions of dollars richer, and the money is legal, right? So art is actually one of the key ways in which it's... And I wouldn't be surprised if games can do the exact same thing. Just make a game on Steam, right? Sell millions of copies of that game to all sorts of ghost accounts and bot accounts, and you've just laundered a crap ton of money, right?
Yeah. But what the hell do gooning games have to do with that? That's the thing.
I think because a lot of the games that's banned, right? Yes, some goon games are legitimate games, but there's also so much AI slop, right? Like, I've seen some games on there where you look at this and you go, well, I don't like this. Looks like someone.
I mean, yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, wouldn't the porn aspect of the game just draw more attention to it?
If they
can like you probably just want a game that then, I mean, they're probably laundering money through the fucking banana game or whatever the fuck, because that was like giga popular a while back.
No, I think there's probably a ton of games that they do it through. I told you what I think the real issue is, right? So I'm just speaking about them saying money laundering and that stuff is what they're really going on there. But I've told you before what I think the actual thing is. One of the reasons why OnlyFans and all of these guys are constantly under pressure from Visa and MasterCard is chargeback, refunding. You see, men are very interested in spending money pre-nut clarity.
Post-nut clarity is a bitch.
Yeah. They do actually find that a lot of men will subscribe to a girl on OnlyFans, reach the post-nut clarity phase, and then immediately request a refund because, oh crap, right? What did I do? I never wanted to do this in the first place, right? So just to point that out, it may be the same thing for gooning games, and MasterCard and Visa it costs them money every single time you refund, right? So they don't want you to refund as often. That might be one of it, right? That might be, at least part of it. But we'll keep you guys abreast of any changes to this story. Right now, I know itch.io is suffering as a result of this because, as itch.io have said, they don't have the collective bargaining power that Steam has. And even Steam can't really fight these guys. Right? So itch.io...
And Collective Shout is going like, yeah, fuck that indie platform. Fuck them. Yeah, we did it.
Yeah, so itch.io is trying to work with PayPal as well as Stripe in order to see if they can help them sort of not have to give in to MasterCard and Visa. The issue is that Stripe and PayPal works with MasterCard and Visa. So,
because it's one big club and you're not part of it.
Yep, we're not in it. It sucks.
It is what it is.
Yep.
It's a big club and we're not in it.
Speaking of train wrecks, but this is arguably less depressive, much more fun. So you remember there was this game called Suicide Squad that committed suicide on launch.
I hear that game was great. What are you talking about, bro? I hear it was real successful. It was fantastic, phenomenal.
I heard as the game was ready to launch, it took a left turn towards Cliff City and then just nosedived off head first into the rocks down below.
You know that Rocksteady is actually kind of concerned about that video game nowadays because they're probably thinking, oh my God, if this stop killing games thing goes forward, the fuck are we going to do? We're going to have to release server code. Oh no.
I mean, Suicide Squad was a train wreck, guys. It was absolutely it was a terrible game.
So
there's some
therefore, Warner Brothers decided this game was so bad, but now we've got practice, so let's do it again.
Yeah, let's run it back, boys. Let's run it back.
Let's do another one.
Dude, I don't get it, right? Like, you have the blueprint. You made Hogwarts Legacy. Like, that thing was insane. It was such a good game.
Hogwarts Legacy, they have the Batman Arkham series, which is still like hailed as, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the Batman Arkham series. But people love it. A lot of people loved it. People loved Batman Arkham.
You have the Nemesis system that you could absolutely implement into Batman as well as Hogwarts Legacy.
Yes. There's the Nemesis system from Shadow of War. Is it War or
do
Mordor?
more Shadow of
Mordor is
Mordor.
the first one.
You can do more Shadows of Mordor games.
But it's like, And the thing is, we could see the telltale signs with Shadow of War, which I think was the second one, where they started selling you orcs in boxes. That was also fun.
Yeah.
Well, you can buy this box. It's got orcs in it. It's like, well, what orc? Well, it's random. You don't know what you're going to get. It's a surprise. We have a surprise orc for you in this box.
You spoiled us, Ambassador.
So they're making another one. This is a Eurogamer article where they're saying that basically they found this out through job listings. It includes mention of development from concept to post-launch live operations, and experience required includes deep understanding of full game development cycle, including live services. While the game itself isn't specified, it will be high-quality AAA game based on one of the iconic IPs from the vast Warner Brothers and DC Comics catalog.
Excuse me, I would like to... Did they just say high-quality AAA?
Yeah, it's a variant of AAA that actually has high quality. They always shoot for it. They never quite get there, though.
To me,
it doesn't stop them from trying.
High quality and AAA is an oxymoron.
I guess
I would argue they're mutually exclusive.
We're getting very close to that. Yeah, they are becoming mutually exclusive. It's insane. Yeah. It is what it is. But yeah, they're working on another live service game. And you know what this reminded me of? I recently rewatched Mad Max, The Fury Road. And this just reminds me of those war boys going like with the chrome spray. Witness me! It's fucking Warner Bros. Studios, dude. They go like, witness me do it again!
That's a cool movie, by the way.
Right as they're fucking kamikaze with another fucking live service game. Let's ruin another franchise. Let's go!
I would just like to point out that's a cool movie, actually. That's a really cool movie.
It is a cool movie.
Even I think I watched the sequel to that, which is also
I haven't watched
decent.
the sequel yet.
It's Furiosa. Not as good as the first one. I
haven't watched that one.
Yeah, Furiosa is not as good as Fury Road, but it's still decent. It's a good watch. It's a fun watch.
It is.
The thing is just Warner Brothers continues to double down on live service games, even though we have seen the vast majority of live service games crash and burn. And it will always be the case, because what these game studios still don't seem to understand is, remember when I said to you guys that Twitch is a zero-sum game? For you to make
live
it, other people have
games,
to lose.
Yeah.
Live service games is a zero-sum game. Only one can win, right? And if it wins,
I mean, I wouldn't say
lose.
one. You can have a couple. But you can't have more than a couple.
I would say in a genre, usually only one wins, right?
I would say two. I think there's room for like two in a genre. So like in traditional MMORPGs, you have your World of Warcraft and you have your Final Fantasy. Yeah. And both of them are burning.
Yeah, both of them are currently burning. But I would just like to say, it still holds true to only one can really win. Because as you've seen in the MMO space, the MMO
people
space
shift back and forth. The
MMO space has not gotten bigger. WoW has just lost a bunch of subs, and other games have gained a bunch of subs.
No, but it's funny.
Balance.
It's really funny that you brought that up, because it really gives more power to your argument. Because if you remember, one of WoW's lowest moments in recent memory is Shadowlands, and what happened? People left and went to Final Fantasy XIV, which became Final Fantasy XIV's biggest moment, which was during Shadowbringers and Endwalker.
Yeah,
and now in
Dawn Trail,
they shot themselves in the face. They're like, you know, we have this great story. What if we fucked it up in the next one? Yeah.
And now
then what happens? Now people left Dawn Trail and they went back to World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
It's just...
Maybe it is only a one winner, actually.
Yeah. And the issue is, well, it's either one winner. So, for example, Fortnite has taken the crown effectively when it comes to Battle Royale.
Just to finish that analogy, and then we have Guild Wars 2 in the sidelines picking up the scrap.
Yeah, it's just that a guy.
It's like kind of like scrambling. Like,
what would be funny as shit though
is player here, a player there.
What would be funny as shit though is if WoW started to do badly again, and then Guild Wars 2 became the ultimate winner. Because from everyone I've spoken to, Guild Wars 2 is actually the base of all of those games. It's like a really
you remember I had that arc.
Yeah,
you remember I had that arc where I was playing that a fuck ton. You show up and I'd show you the game. It's really good. Like the game is really good. It's just dated as fuck, but it's very, very good.
Yeah. So if they could put some effort into that, it might actually pick up. It's still sad that BioWare never actually figured out what to do with Star Wars because that could have been really good as well. But the problem is, and the problem will always be this. Live service is a zero-sum game. For one to win, others have to lose, right? And maybe you could have, if the genre is big enough, I'd say, so like Battle Royales, you can have Call of Duty and Fortnite, although Fortnite is far larger than Call of Duty, but both can kind of exist in the same space. But you've seen Battlefield has tried and has failed up until now to make a dent in that live service genre. Because there's just no players. Oh, it's coming. Yeah.
Don't worry, because they're gonna try again.
They're gonna try again. That'll be our next story. We'll flow into that one in a second. But it's just these studios keep going off the live service games without recognizing that it is such a phenomenal risk. Because with a single player game, it's not zero sum. I can play hundreds of different single player games and just enjoy them, right? But the second you lock me into a game, I have to automatically lock myself out of other games so that I can play this game. But of course, they're just looking at cash shops. We can sell stuff at cash shops. It's like, how did that work for Suicide Squad? Right? Tell me quickly, what is a million times by zero? You have all this potential money on the cash shop with no players to buy the potential shit on the cash shop. How does that work?
I was about to say the word potential. I was like, but the potential. Like, think of the potential. There's so much potential there. If that zero turns into like a 0.1, bro, we're in the money.
Yeah, we're printing it. I mean, talking of potential, we have to talk about Battlefield 6 because it's related to this.
So listen, EA, Andrew Wilson himself just came out and he wants you to know that he's a nice guy. He's like, listen, I'm a nice guy. I'm not like you. Exactly. You should believe him. He's a straight shooter. Andrew Wilson, straight shooter, is like, I'm a nice guy. I'm not like those people that are going to charge you for $80 for new games. I wouldn't do that to you. Okay. Yeah. We have a good thing going. I love you guys. You guys love me. And therefore, we just want you to know that we currently don't have any. I love the phrasing too, which is like, we currently don't have any plans to charge $80 for Battlefield. That doesn't mean it can't change.
Yeah, it just
means that right now, I'm going to farm your goodwill and tell you that I don't have any plans to charge you $80 for Battlefield. But who knows? It's a long road from here until Q1 next year. Yeah. So who knows, man? Things might change.
Yeah, I mean, he might wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, well, we currently have plans to charge $80.
We now have plans. We've made the plans. See, we didn't have plans at the time. We've since then made those plans. Yeah, it is going to be $80.
Actually,
we're going to go above and beyond. It's actually going to be $90. Fuck you guys.
We came up with the plans to charge $80, and then we found better plans for $90 instead. So that's the new plan out. But hey, as long as you guys have a plan.
Currently, they're saying that they have no plans to charge $80. They're not really changing their pricing structure on any of their games. They talk about how they already have like a wide pricing structure for different video games and all of that stuff because of their marketing targets, blah, blah, blah. Bunch of PR bullshit speak, right? They talk about that. But I would just like to remind you guys that they have some very reasonable and attainable goals for Battlefield 6, which is to only reach the very low number of 100 million players.
I can see it happen.
That's completely attainable. Easily.
Not even a problem. How did the previous Battlefields do?
Not great, except for I think Battlefield 3 was like the better one. It was super popular, but since then it just like crashed and burned. But the thing is, like we said in the previous news story, this is a fucking zero-sum game. You are going to be facing off against like Fortnite and Modern Warfare. And I would say Halo, but
Halo, yeah.
Halo already shot itself in both feet. Halo just went like, pow, shot both feet, and now they're just like limping along.
Halo, every single time they start naturally healing, they put another round in their feet, like just to make sure.
Yeah. We don't want to go too far now.
Oh, I'm picking
up
some speed right now. Bang! In the knee. There we go. I'm going nice and slow again.
That's the story on Battlefield. They're not going to charge 60. They're not going to charge 80 bones, but at the same time, they're hoping to reach 100 million players. Don't think it's happening. But,
it ain't happening. It ain't happening. Not even close. But Rurikon, what I need you to tell me about is Stop Killing Games and this intellectual property lawyer. What is happening here?
This is a story that was posted yesterday on gamesindustry.biz because I was looking for topics to see what we were going to talk about in today's show. And I came across this story. So I don't think that this is like a big story, but I just thought it was so just like brutally dishonest that I just had to talk about it. So apparently this guy who is an intellectual property lawyer, Sergio Ferreira, which there's another concern here.
Yeah.
I'm concerned that this guy might be Portuguese because that's a very Portuguese name. I'm hoping he's not Portuguese because he's just like, he works at a property lawyer in UK property lawyer firm. Mm-hmm. And they're called Knights, whatever. And he shares his thoughts on the ongoing Stop Killing Games petition. Yeah. And I'm just going to read you the very first paragraph, because if there's one thing that lawyers are supposed to be good at, at least that's my understanding, is they're supposed to be good at parsing paperwork, understanding paper trails, analyzing facts. So I'm just going to read you the first paragraph.
Okay.
If you have been keeping up to date with gaming news, you will no doubt have heard of the Stop Killing Games initiative started by YouTuber Ross Scott.
Wait, is Ross Scott a YouTuber?
No, that's not the point. Yes, Ross Scott is a YouTuber, but he's not the one who started the Stop Killing Games initiative.
No, but it's not. I'm pretty sure he's not just a YouTuber, right?
Yeah, he's not, but he is a YouTuber, right?
Yeah.
It's the Accursed Farms guy. He is a YouTuber.
Yeah, but to be fair, that would be like saying my dad is a YouTuber because he has uploaded videos in the past, right? Like, he does way more than just that. But okay, no, I agree with you. He has not started this. This isn't his thing.
He didn't.
That I agree with. Yeah, but the problem I have is just the way YouTubers, sorry, this is a personal gripe of mine, because whenever people want to discredit something, they'll use the YouTuber label as sort of like, well, he's just a YouTuber, right? So what does he know? It's like, well, actually, he's more than just a YouTuber, first and foremost, right? That would be like saying Legal Eagle is just a YouTuber. He's also a lawyer, right? He happens to make YouTube videos, but he is also a lawyer, right?
Regardless of that, I've went through the article. I'm not going to go through it on this on the podcast as well.
No.
But basically, we have a lawyer over here going like, actually, you guys don't know how hard it is. You don't understand how hard it is for these companies to make these changes.
No.
That's the whole article. And just like talking completely out of his ass, coming up with complete nonsensory, saying like, this is impossible. They have to like rewrite the whole game. They have to change literally everything.
Well,
it's impossible. You don't understand.
Well,
so basically, that's the whole article. But the thing is, right? Wait, before you go any further, the thing is, one of the reasons I wanted to bring this up is due to the way that he is portraying all of this, and considering how even just in the last episode we talked about somebody filing some legal proceedings with the European organization that's responsible for looking at these things and going after Ross, I would almost say, this is some interesting timing, Sergio. You wouldn't happen to be the one that filed these anonymous papers with the European people. No, that wouldn't be you, right, Sergio? You wouldn't do that.
What a coincidence.
Oh, it's just like, no, of course not. It's almost like you're bringing up all the same talking points these fucking companies do, which is a bunch of bullshit, by the way. All fucking lies and made up nonsense.
I would like to point something out. Right? And this goes out to all of the game studios out there. Even if, and I don't, because I happen to know what the hell, how the gaming industry works, right? And I also happen to know enough about coding to know that you wouldn't have to rewrite the whole game, to know that this isn't completely breaking everything that you've ever worked for. But even if I were to buy that narrative, I have one word for you. Record profits. 2 words, I guess we should say. You guys
have 3 words for you. No, I have 3 words for you.
Yeah.
Whenever these companies come around and tell me, oh, it's so hard. These are the 3 words I have for you. I don't care.
Yeah. But my point is, you guys have posted for the last decade. You guys have continuously bragged about how you're posting record profits. Take some of those profits and fix your bloody games. It's as simple as that. Right? I don't care if you have to redesign it from the ground up, which you absolutely don't, you lying, sniveling pieces of shit. You don't have to do that. Don't. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Like, listen, I guarantee to you that any modder worth its salt would fix the crew to run forever like that. Like, one night coding session, bro would go in.
Can I just say,
figured it out? Yeah, I did it. Yep.
Can I just say done. there are high seas services where you can play games like Minecraft pirated and on pirate servers.
Yeah. But
these guys don't care.
The interesting
they can do anything.
People might be wondering, well, Rurikon, if it's as easier as you say and a modder could do it in an overnight coding session, why haven't they done it? Because they don't want to get fucking sued.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to get fucking sued by Ubisoft. That's why.
Technically, the only thing that Ubisoft would have to do, right, if they really care about all the work that they have to do and they can't be asked to do it, is just send a game into the public domain after it reaches end of life.
Yeah, people will fix it.
People will fix that shit.
Like, literally like that.
Right? Yeah, they probably already have fixed it. They're just waiting for them to be able to do it legally, right? So you could do that. Or if you don't want to, just don't make your game so that it's necessary. It's as simple as that, right? Stop bullshitting. No one cares. You're not going to get us with this, but all this extra work, you guys don't know what you're asking for. You've been producing shit games for a decade. You're not threatening us with a good time. Like, just to be clear, right? When you guys say, but we won't be able to make our game. Oh, no? You won't be able to do the next live service failure? We're so sad. Fix your games. We don't care.
It's just, to me, it's just so blatantly dishonest whenever people come out and start telling everybody how hard it is. It's like, it's not. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's really not. Yeah, and it really annoys me when people start with this like, oh, but you don't understand and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, bro, releasing server executables is not hard.
No.
It's changing the game's IP that it's looking. And by the way, let me say something else. If changing which IP the game is pointing towards is this impossibly Herculean task, your game is coded like shit.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Because like this should be literally one line of code change. It's like now it points towards 127.0.0.1. That's what it does. And we bake in the server executable and boom, it's done. It's done. It's fucking solved. It's sorted like that. And it's like these people are like, it's so hard. You don't know. Shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's that simple.
It's truly truly is just annoying beyond belief, right? To hear these billionaire companies and corporations pretend to be the victims here. It's like, oh, but poor us. No, not poor you. You've made terrible games, and what's actually worse is you've taken brilliant premises, destroyed them in your endless quest for live services, and then refuse to fix your live service mistakes, but then also take the games offline for people who actually might just want to enjoy the game. So you know what? Get wrecked. Like, I don't give a crap. You will get no sympathy from me or from most other gamers out there because screw you. That's why. As simple as that. Speaking of litigiousness, Sony. Now, I sort of forgot about this. Rurikon had to show me the picture before this.
The game of Light of Motiram.
Yeah, Light of Motiram, or as some might say, what's a nice
Horizon Multiple Dawns?
Yeah, I want to.
Instead of Horizon Zero Dawn, it's Horizon Multiple Dawns. I don't know
that, or yeah, you know, Zero Dawn we have at home.
We have Zero Dawn at home.
Yeah, we have Zero Dawn at home. Something to that effect, right? Like insert joke here. Effectively,
yeah.
Sony is suing Tencent, and I don't know why Tencent thought that won't happen.
Tencent? Wait, wouldn't Tencent have like a controlling share in Sony? This is such a weird thing now that I think about it.
Yeah, they own pretty much so many other studios already. Although I imagine Sony is a bit large for even Tencent to really buy into.
I don't know. It's weird.
Sony's pretty big,
I don't know.
Right? Sony's pretty large.
Basically, Sony is suing Tencent for Light of Motiram, which is interesting because the very first time I ever saw gameplay of Light of Motiram, I was like, wow, this is pretty fucking blatant.
Yeah.
I was surprised it took them this long. Maybe they were waiting for the Nintendo. Maybe they were at the time, they're like, well, we don't know if we can, it's going to be expensive. But now they're seeing like Nintendo go after Pal World. And maybe they're like, we could probably get away with it too.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's what they're doing or what the reason is, but yeah.
I should just point out, I have no problem with games ripping each other off, right? If a game has a good idea, you can absolutely put that into your game. Like, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to. It's one of the reasons I'm so pissed off about the Nemesis system being patented. Because no one else is able to use a system that clearly works and is really good and would have made so many games so amazing. And it wouldn't even be hard to do. It's just that you're not allowed to because they've patented the bloody system, right? But there's limits, right? Like, you can't just blatantly rip off a thing. You have to at least make an attempt to make it look different. Here, they've made no attempt.
But here's another interesting one that I wasn't even aware. I was just going through some of the articles here because I just knew that they had sued them. And I was going through some of the articles as we're talking here. And it says here, in March 2024, at a gaming conference in San Francisco, California, Tencent executives approached Sony with a pitch to develop its own Horizon game in collaboration with Sony Interactive Entertainment.
What?
The filing adds, Sony rejected the idea and considered the matter closed. Sony then accuses Tencent of secretly developing Light of Motiram and deliberately infringing upon its IP. Bro.
Oh, no.
The Chinese just said, okay, bet, bro. You don't want to work with us? That's cool.
Yeah, the Chinese legitimately...
We'll just fucking steal it.
The Chinese legitimately just went, we hear you. We hear you.
So it says here, Sony states it met with Tencent to informally resolve the issue, where Tencent once again tried to license the Horizon IP. The former said it communicated clearly and unequivocally that this would not happen. And when it objected once again, when marketing materials for Light of Motiram began circulating, stated Tencent had since signaled it rejected Sony's demands and would forge ahead. Tencent said, we don't care. We're doing it anyway.
Tencent's legitimately just like, Sony's like, okay, boys, you cannot make this game. And Tencent guys like, yes, we make game. No, you cannot make this game. Okay, we make game. And Sony's just like, are you...
Sony, no, here's what happened. They went there and they're like, listen, we want a license. We want to make a Horizon game. And Sony is just like, no, you're not making a Horizon game. And they're like, so we can't make a Horizon game? No. Okay, our game's called Light of Motiram then. Okay, good. I'm glad we got that sorted.
Wait, but
I'm glad we got that figured out.
Wait, but this is literally our game. No, it's not. Light of Motiram.
No, it says Light of Motiram.
Yeah,
what do you mean?
But it looks like our game. No, like look at our goal's way skinnier than yours. It's like, dude, that game. Like looking at that game, it's you remember when you were in school, right? And you had to like finish a project, but you didn't do it, so you didn't do your homework, and then you were just copying your friend's homework, but you had to make it look legally distinct enough for one another, right? So you'll just leave words out and add, like change some words and stuff. That's literally what this is. They were just like, okay, how do we make it legally distinct from each other?
But the funny thing is, the most likely reason why this happened is because Sony was still planning on doing the all of those live service games, and one of those live service games, I know for a fact because this was leaked. They even had gameplay of it.
Yep.
One of those live service games was going to be a Horizon Zero Dawn live service game, which is going to be like 4-player co-op, kind of like what they did with the Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer. I think that was what they were working for. So they had this in the bank, and then when Tencent approached them, they're like, "Well, we're already working on our own, so we're not going to work with them." But to be honest, it would have probably been more profitable for them to just license the IP, because Light of Motiram would have likely made them a fuckload of money. Because, you know, Tencent knows how to make these fucking live service games. Yeah. Whether we like them or not, they know how to make them. They know how to monetize them. They know how to make a fuckload of money. So
dude,
now,
it's because they go to the Chinese citizens and they're like, you play now. And the Chinese citizens say, yes, I play now. So they know how to do their shit, right? Those Chinese bastards, they don't care. They'll take all your rights away if you're not playing Tencent games.
So my own personal take on this is like, because I kind of feel like this is something that we need to closely talk about with the Palworld situation as well. Yeah. Now with Palworld, there's a situation here wherein Pokemon was obviously very much let's say inspired by Dragon Quest. So Pokemon already took a lot of stuff from Dragon Quest. Yeah. And nobody complained there. So therefore, Palworld taking a couple of things from Pokemon, I kind of think that's kind of fair. Because like that like, because in Japan, they're called Pokemon because it's like pocket monsters, whatever the fuck it is, the reason why they call it that. But basically that whole thing there is very much established, and a lot of people draw from that type of stuff. Yeah. And in the case of Palworld, it is actually still very different from traditional Pokemon stuff.
Yeah.
But in the case of Light of Motiram, like they just straight up rip off the entire art style. Like it's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you've seen the gameplay, they straight up rip it off. Now, at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of neutral on it, I guess. I don't care that much. It's like, I like Horizon. I think Horizon's a fantastic game. I like both Zero Dawn, particularly the story of Zero Dawn I loved. Forbidden West was also very good. But Light of Motiram, I don't even feel like it would be competing with it. It's just Sony doesn't want that art style to just get ripped off because lots of people will start ripping it off because they have a very unique art style with those games.
You can think from Sony's perspective as well. A lot of people, and this might be sad, and it is a little sad to say, but a lot of people don't know anything about publishers, right? So they'll see this game and they'll just immediately think, it's the same guys.
It's another Horizon game. Yeah.
Right. I mean, if this game does maybe weird stuff, charges a whole bunch of money for weird crap, or has some weird practices, then it puts people off the Horizon series, even though these two games have nothing to do with one another, right? So you can understand where Sony is coming from, at least. When it comes to Nintendo and Pal World, there's no arguments there. The Pal World developers actually put in some effort. No one is accusing Nintendo of putting in effort when it comes to making anything. Like, what the hell are they talking about?
Nobody's accusing Game Freak of putting in any effort in the Pokemon series. No, but it's like it instantly becomes obvious that Palworld has nothing to do with Pokemon when they pull out guns. Okay, there's guns, there's machine guns, there's cannons, there's rocket launchers. All right,
dude, the musket.
These are twos.
The musket is one of the greatest weapons you'll ever unlock. The problem is if you don't have the Ring of Mercy, the musket is a zero. Like, you cannot capture anything with the musket. No matter how you shoot them, you kill them one shot. It is insane. But yeah, I mean, dude, it's sad that this is where we are. But then again, this is sort of Tencent's game, right? China doesn't care about intellectual property. One of the things that I always say to people who sort of hope that America falls and that, no one cares about America anymore, and I don't want to make this into geopolitics, but one of the things I always say to people is, as much as you may hate America, try to imagine what a world where China is the dominant power looks like. China is a country that couldn't care less about intellectual property. This is a country that couldn't care less about food safety, personal safety, work safety. In fact, their worker rights consists of putting nets so that people can't jump to their deaths. You can just pull them back in and put them to work again, right?
Get back to work, John. Yeah. It's the third time this week. Stop that.
Yeah, stop that. Like, we can't afford to lose you
right now. Go be a good little wage slave.
Yeah.
The fuck?
This is China, right? So as bad as you think the United States is, they're not China, right? And so fundamentally, this is just Tencent's game. I think Sony suing them, it sort of makes sense, right? At least, I hate saying all these bad things about China. I mean, the next game we have to talk about is Chinese. And it's actually, by all accounts, a really good game.
And it's a good game. I like it a lot.
I stand by everything I said about China, right? But the one thing I won't sort of take away from them is the fact that they seem to be a serious player when it comes to games.
Oh yeah, they've been putting out some bangers. Like Wuchang is one of the latest Souls-likes to come out.
Yep.
And I've been playing it. Last time we briefly touched up on it because I only played a little bit. Now I'm fairly certain that I'm somewhere north of the halfway point. Don't know exactly where because it just seems like there's so much game to play still. And this game is actually really good. Like, it surprised me a lot, especially because I usually have huge issues with UE5 games, but they've still been managing to do most things in a way that has been very pleasing and unique enough to where even in the beginning, it's still like you look at it, it's like that's a UE5 game, but they kind of work around that art style a little bit to where it becomes a little bit more unique further in. But I really, really like it. I've been having an absolute blast playing this game. So the combat is very much Souls-like. It's more a heavier focus on dodging, even though certain weapons have different mechanics. Like dual blades have a clashing mechanic wherein if you attack at the same time as your enemy, you kind of like parry some of his attacks and you deal damage back.
Okay.
Then there's a parry mechanic if you have like a long sword, and you can block if you have an axe. And then other weapons have other different mechanics. And I've been playing a magic build, actually, which you'll be proud, huh?
Oh,
Look at that.
nice.
Me playing magic build.
Nice.
And then I swapped because I found a spear that had explosions. There
Oh,
was a spear that caused explosions. It's like, I couldn't help myself. But I played magic for a good long while, okay? And the magic system was pretty fun. So they have the system whenever you do a...
Just to say, this is sort of me. I built Karlach up in Baldur's Gate 3. Like, she's an absolute beast. And now I literally just turned her into a spear thrower because she does so much damage with the spear throwing. And I found that a spear that returns to your hand after you throw it. So I'm just chuck. What? She's arranged.
Oh, it's funny. But so with the system that they have, I think is really cool because if you do a perfect dodge, you gain a resource that then lets you cast a spell or do a special attack.
Oh, you told me about that.
You're always getting you're always getting rewarded for engaging in the combat properly, but it also allows you to have infinite spells, which is a ton of fun.
Nice.
So I've been doing a ton of that, and I do have to say, one of the biggest things about this game that it does really, really well is their level design.
Okay.
They have phenomenal level design. Like you're constantly going through a level and you're thinking, oh, there was a path that I haven't explored back there yet, but now we're going to stick to this one. Then you're like, oh, this one's actually the main. I need to go back and I need to explore the other one. Then you start exploring the other one. You're like, wait, this one is not just like a little side path. This is actually a major area that I have to explore.
Wow.
And this happens repeatedly throughout so many levels. Like you're always feeling like, oh, I'm missing something here. I need to
it's
go
not
to this
open
other
world,
place.
right?
It's not open world. It's an interconnected world. So it doesn't have the trappings of an open world game, but the map is pretty much all interconnected. So you can go at least up until what I've played so far, because maybe it splinters off later on, but you can go from the very beginning of the game to any of the many, endings of the map that I've found so far. So everything is interconnected. Everything is weaved in together. And
Loading
the reason
screens
why
or
map,
no?
No loading screens unless you teleport, because you can teleport from bonfire to bonfire.
Okay. Yeah.
But other than that, there's been no loading screens. And the thing is, the reason why this is so important is because in Souls-likes, you usually want to have these intricate maps because rather than them just like putting a million different bonfires in a million different places, it's cooler when you can like, oh, I found this ladder, right? And I can lower this ladder, and now like this whole level's opened up because now I have a shortcut back to the bonfire. So if I die, I can just get right back to where I was. And finding those checkpoints is very, very rewarding. So they've done a phenomenal job with that. And another thing that I really like is we were talking on the last episode about the difficulty thing. The fact that they don't have a difficulty selector, to me, makes this feel so much better than, like, for instance, First Berserker Kazan and even Lies of P. Even though I know that Lies of P, I think, is a better game overall, but like in terms of the difficulty balance, this one just feels better for me. And it's that weird thing that I keep telling people, like, listen, you start putting difficulty sliders in these games and they start getting worse. But that's exactly how I feel. And I know that it's not a popular opinion. I know that a lot of people, they prefer Kazan or they prefer Lies of P, whatever. But to me, I'm having way more fun in Wuchang than I had in First Berserker Kazan, for instance. Even though First Berserker Kazan is still a great game, but like the balancing just feels way, way better for me.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, Wuchang,
I don't have
looking
anything
really
to
good and coming in at just like 50 bones, which I'd even forgotten that it's not even like fully priced. It comes in at 50 bones. I think that it's pretty much an easy recommendation if your rig can handle it. because apparently they're, big performance issues, all that stuff. I haven't experienced that. It's been running pretty smoothly on my system. So yeah, but it is.
I will just say it's sort of, that is to be expected in a game that is kind of open world, not necessarily open world, but it is connected. So the world is very large. Yeah. Unreal does not do well with games like that. Doesn't want to do that.
Unreal 5 doesn't do well, period.
Yeah. It's actually quite rare that you'll have games like, for example, Expedition 33, which is Unreal, but it's done super well.
I had issues. I didn't have Expedition 33.
At least I didn't. So, but I've always been lucky in that, even with Cyberpunk, for example, I had no issues. And everyone else was really struggling. But yeah, I haven't played Wuchang yet. I'm still working my way through Baldur's Gate. Once I'm done with that, I'll probably start playing Wuchang, because I have it. I just have not started it yet.
I just find it interesting with Wuchang that despite so many good things to talk about with its combat system, the perfect dodge system, the variety of builds, like the crazy skill tree that game has and all of that stuff, and a lot of people in mainstream media are still focusing on like, fucking Gooner approach me. And it's like, yeah, it has a ton of revealing outfits. Yeah, just yesterday, my character was running around with like a thong and like a very short top, and that was it. But it's like, listen, I was going for stats, bro. It is what it is. I needed them stats. But the game has like a transmog system, so it's like if you want to be, hell, it has a streamer mode that I told you about last time, which if you turn on, it straight up will just cover the character up. Like I actually tested it. So like whenever you get into one of those more revealing outfits, what the game does is just gives her the default armor set every time. Yeah, nice. So you never even have to engage with the gooning side of it if that's such a big problem for you. Just like, I would turn on streamer mode, problem solved.
I would just like to point out people who continuously go, "Oh, it's just gooners playing it." That's genuinely not how it works. Like someone who's playing this game, maybe for the first 5 minutes, they go, "Oh wow, this is so hot." And then they start playing the game, and you don't even realize what your people...
Post-nut clarity sets in.
Dude, yeah, post-nut clarity sets in. But also, I spent a bit of time making my Baldur's Gate 3 character. Up until now, I haven't seen my character once. He's running around with that helm of many faces. So he just has this metal bucket on his head, basically, the whole time. And that's what he looks like. Because I'm playing the game, right? I don't have time to be thinking about what am I wearing. And that's how most people play these games
like whenever I get the new armor sets, because I'm on stream and I'm miming all those, oh man, it's like, look at that. It's like, yeah, I'll play it up, but it's like we spend like what, 30 seconds, not even that, whenever I unlock a new outfit, and it's like, okay, now let's go play the game.
Yeah.
It's like, who cares?
I mean, it's just absolute nonsense. But then again, the media will literally complain about anything. It's just what they do. You were going to tell us about Nightreign and some changes to Nightreign, as well as Monster Hunter stuff, I see.
Yeah. Nightreign and Monster Hunter are both getting new content. Monster Hunter not this week, but fairly soon. But Nightreign is getting duo expeditions as well as a new sovereign today. So this is something that we had talked about. I'm still not 100% on board with duo expeditions because we talked about this. It was developed for 3 players, and I feel like 3 players is perfect, but they're bringing in duo expeditions now. We already have solo, so now you can just do it anyway. You can go solo, you can go duo expeditions, you can go 3 players. It's completely up to each individual person how they want to play the game.
Yeah.
But that is coming in today, as well as a new sovereign, which is the flying glowing ball of light. I forget what his name is in the game, but they're bringing those into the game, and there's going to be 4 new sovereigns that they've coded that they're probably going to be releasing over the next 4 weeks. These are timed events, so basically it's like, okay, you get this sovereign for 1 week, then next week we give you another one, then next week we give you another one, and that's been the way that they've been handling that. But yeah, new content coming to Nightreign. Nightreign's still incredibly fun. I played it just last week again, just to kind of like get a refresher. It's still super fun to play. I love that game. It's a ton of fun. Highly recommended. And then Monster Hunter is actually moving ahead its release cycle, which is very surprising. So they had this new endgame system that they were going to bring into the game, which is a new difficulty tier of quests, as well as a new grind, which is going to be grinding for randomly generated charms. And this was going to come in at the end of September, but it seems that the team has a bunch of content in the pipeline because they're releasing it on the 13th of August instead. So stuff that was supposed to be coming out at the end of September is now coming out in the middle of August, which is kind of like a big leap forward if you're asking me. So I'm like super curious to see what else the team has been adding to the game. It's going to be crazy. But ultimately, when it comes to Monster Hunter, they still need to address the performance because that's still going to be the main talking point for people that have performance issues. So, you know. Yeah, good news for both Monster Hunter and Nightreign, which are both games that I'm super excited to play.
Yeah, I personally don't think I don't know. I personally feel sad for games that clearly has a lot of potential and is for the most part doing really well, but then thanks to the engine, it's getting wrecked.
Yeah. The thing to me is I really want Capcom to figure out the RE engine because I don't want Capcom just go like, okay, guys, you don't like RE engine? Guess what? It's time for UE5. And it's like, oh God, no. And shoot me in the face, bro. I don't want to deal with more UE5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. As a quick sort of update as well, just for those of you that might play those games, Expedition 33 just had a major update.
Oh yes, that's super important because it adds the battle retry thing.
Yeah, it adds battle retry.
Massive,
but it also, this is actually the biggest one, auto dialogue. You can now put it so the dialogue actually goes on auto and you don't have to consistently click for them to say the next
God,
thing.
Bro. Jesus Christ. How is that not in at the beginning, though?
Dude, I don't know. That was one of my biggest complaints about that game. I kept saying this during stream. I love this game, but I don't want to keep clicking for them to say the next words. Just say the words.
See? Me waiting for a while before I play it is just like turning out to be better and better. I get the battle retry because one of the most annoying things to me is I hate traditional save systems. I don't like them. I don't like a save system where it's like, oh, I forgot to save back there. Guess I'm now like 2 hours behind because I failed this fight. Fuck.
It's actually,
I hate that, dude.
It is actually one of the things that makes me quit games. Probably the number one reason I'll quit a game. And not quit forever, but like I'll be super into a game, and then I die. And as I die, I'm like, nah.
What was the last save file? Oops.
Yeah, I just immediately go, no, I'm good now.
No.
I'll go play something else. Good. I'm not doing this again.
Yeah.
Not going
and I'm not going through and redoing the last 2 hours again. No. I'm good.
Because it sucks, especially the way they do it, because there's only certain times the game will save with Expedition 33, unless you log out, in which case it'll save immediately. And that makes it really sucky, because you can be very far into the game, you could have done a bunch of shit, killed a bunch of shit, and then you die or something goes wrong, and you're like, oh, wait, what? I have to do all of this again.
It reminds me when I was checking out Oblivion when that came out recently, the Oblivion remaster, and I straight up bound F5 to my controller.
Oh wow! Yeah, it makes sense actually. Just
I know.
Save as much as you can.
I was like, I don't want to keep fucking pressing F5. I'll just buy, because this controller's got like paddles in the back. So I was just like, okay, this paddle is now F5s, and I'm just like, bam. It's like I move 5 feet, F5, move a little bit more, F5. You know, I don't want to have to redo those steps.
Yeah.
So it's like I really wish we would like not use traditional saving, or at least have that as an option for people that really love traditional saving. But for me, it's like, look, exactly where I was, that's exactly where I need to be. If something kills me, roll it back 30 seconds or something and let me do it again. And it's like,
Dude,
that's it. That's all you got to do.
I don't know how we can't have that, right? Like,
yeah,
how is it impossible? Because technically, all you need to do is have an autosave function that saves the game, say, every 20 or 30 seconds, right? Or, better yet, and there are games that do this, right? Almost all live service and MMOs and stuff do exactly this, where you have a live save file. So it continuously knows where you are and it keeps track of it. Should you get interrupted, should you lock out, should something happen, it immediately snapshots that, and that's the one that gets saved. Right? And all the previous ones just get deleted.
Listen,
simple as that.
Demon Souls had this in 2007.
It's annoying, dude, that we're still stuck living in this era where how many auto-save slots do you want? All of them. I want all of them. And also, dude, the other day I was playing, I can't remember which game it was, but I'm playing this game and it gives you the option to choose auto-save intervals. So it'll auto-save for you in intervals. And the smallest one is 10 minutes. I'm like, wait a second. Do you know how much
10 minutes is an eternity.
Can get done in 10 minutes? Like, do you have any idea what you're telling me? You're basically saying I should restart the game every single time something goes wrong. Like, what are you talking about?
This ain't a word processing fucking, like, what the fuck you mean 10 minutes?
It's like, bitch, 10 seconds. Every 10 seconds you save that bitch. And I need to know that.
Live save it. Yeah. Like Demon Souls back in the day, bro.
Yeah, you could just do that.
Wuchang does that, by the way. Wuchang saves constantly. Pretty much like all the Souls likes, they do that. So, yeah.
And the fact that they can do it means that we should be able to do it too. And then still keep F5 for people that want to save at specific moments. Right? So
yeah, sure.
Before a dialogue option, I hit F5. That's a save now. Great. No problem.
So that they can save scum. So that you can save scum.
Dude,
I'm judging you for save
scum all the time.
I know you do.
If something goes wrong, I save scum it. I want the exact outcome that I'm playing towards. And if something even goes slightly wrong, no, we'll do it again until I get it right. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's it for this week. It's actually a shorter episode. I'm very proud of us for getting through this episode.
We still did bonus topics somewhere at the beginning there. So, yeah. I think we did good.
But no, we really appreciate all of you for coming out, for hanging out with us for our birthday. This is our first episode into the new year. So congratulations. Welcome. Very happy to have all of you here. Leave a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button if you are not already. Most of you watching aren't actually subscribed to the channel. And then leave a comment, telling us what you think of the episode. Partake in the conversation because we do read your comments all the time. Then remember, you can get access 24 hours, more than 24 hours, early access on all episodes for $5 a month. Ladies and gentlemen, from myself and Rurikon, thank you so much for joining us. As always, be good to each other, be kind to each other, and we will see all of you in the next one. Peace.